Oh, you've never heard of Drumheller?
Well, this is what it's like. Last week, Chelsey and I spent one weekend in Drumheller. Now, being born and raised in Alberta, like many other Albertans, we've been to Drumheller before, but we rarely visit it.
If I'm honest, I think that Drumheller is typically associated with young kids because of its dinosaur association.
So we took it upon ourselves to have a jam-packed weekend in Drumheller and see what it really has to offer. First, we arrived at Horseshoe Canyon on Friday night to try to catch sunset. Horseshoe Canyon is located just about 20 minutes outside of Drumheller, but is well worth the drive. The canyon is massive and has tons of trails for you to explore, and this is always one of our go-to places to make coffee and catch sunset. However, in good Alberta fashion, we were caught in a crazy thunderstorm that seemed to come out of nowhere and totally caught us by surprise.
Really hoping this doesn't last long. It was turning out to be a beautiful weekend. Oh, this is the new van! It's getting hailed on! It's getting hailed on! Stop it! This is insane. I can't even drive any further. It's so loud.
Next morning, we went to Horseshoe Canyon. This too is about 20 minutes outside of Drumheller, but this time in the opposite direction. From this location, you can actually do helicopter tours through all the different canyons. But because of all this COVID pandemic, they aren't operating right now. So we'll save that one for another video. Instead, we were able to roam the canyon, get up close with some Alberta wild roses, and climb some hoodoos.
Theme of the weekend is
rain.
And more rain and storms. Nice skies though. Check that out.
We get to a location, we have 1 hour, rain.
So where are we going?
Dive bar.
Shortly after Horseshoe Canyon, we directly went to the Last Chance Saloon, which has got to be one of Alberta's biggest biker bars.
For it being so far off the beaten path, this place was so popular. And one of the biggest perks about this old-timey saloon is actually the drive out there. The stretch on your way to the saloon is actually called 11 Bridges, and it has some of the oldest bridges in Alberta. The drive out there is so beautiful because you're tucked in between the two hoodoos, and you follow all these old bridges all the way along to this old-time saloon.
Is it hoodoos?
The minute there's a hill in the Badlands, it's a hoodoo.
Canyon.
As far as I'm concerned.
Okay, we'll call it a hoodoo. Now I just want to pause here for 1 second and say that if we were a tourist, this would be a good time to stop at the Royal Tyrell Museum. Drumheller is known for being one of the world's hottest hotbeds of dinosaur fossils, and this museum is spectacular. I remember going to it once when I was about 7 years old. We went back recently last year, and it is completely different, completely renovated, and it's definitely a world-class museum.
As two people going to a dinosaur museum in their late 20s without any kids, it did not disappoint. And I just said that we're in our late 20s.
Again, due to the whole COVID situation, we didn't even try to go. We assumed it would be closed. If it wasn't, still didn't feel too right about it. So we skipped that one. We'll save that one for another video as well.
After a bite to eat, our next destination was the Starmine Suspension Bridge, which is always fun.
Now, if you're going with somebody that's scared of heights, this is probably not the place you want to take them.
Suspension bridges in general are just cool. Like, it's a marvel of engineering to get that thing to stay up. Unfortunately, again, on this particular visit, the bridge was actually closed, but this is a destination that we've been to quite a few times before. In the past, we've been able to walk across no problem, and there's a spectacular view over the Red Deer River.
For our last sunset, we decided to go back to Horseshoe Canyon to hopefully redeem ourselves from our last rained out experience, and it did not disappoint whatsoever. We were finally able to enjoy Horseshoe Canyon and watch the sun go down peacefully. However, one thing to note about Horseshoe Canyon is that there is zero amenity. So if you need a bathroom break or any food or water, it's a good idea to stop and get that stuff in Drumheller before you head out.
Drumheller also seems to be some sort of mecca for camping. There's multiple campgrounds actually in the town of Drumheller, which is super convenient and nice. And there's plenty of campgrounds in the surrounding areas as well, and some really close to great viewpoints like Horseshoe Canyon. For Kurtis and I, we're the kind of travelers that look forward to a nice relaxing weekend of camping, but still having the ability to take in some amazing viewpoints and Drumheller was definitely the spot for this. Now there's lots of activities that we didn't do this particular weekend, but we've done in the past and are highly recommended. The world's largest dinosaur being one of them.
At the world's biggest dinosaur, you can get tickets and crawl up, and then you can go outside of the big T-Rex's mouth and look over Drumheller.
On Sunday morning, before we started our drive back home, we stopped at Hoodoo Trail. This is probably the most famous or well-known set of hoodoos in Drumheller.
Hoodoo Trail has some of the most unique hoodoos in all of Drumheller and is definitely worth exploring around. So there it is, guys. That's how we spent last weekend in Drumheller during COVID, albeit, but we tried to make the most of it and we had a jam-packed weekend and it was a ton of fun. If you guys like this video, be sure to hit the like button, hit the subscribe button if you want to see more weekly travel videos, and we will see you guys in the next one.